I had tried recording this blog entry several times. I tried reading it into the blog, and it just didn't seem right. And my name is Robert Bruce Scott, and my blog is Be Careful, People. It's really stupid out there. The title of the post is Scientism, and this dates from the 15th of September 2017. I had been involved in a debate with a fairly intelligent interlocutor who seemed to enjoy the debate as much as I did. He was a follower of an unfamiliar variant of Christianity, and at one point during the debate he accused me of being a follower or being indoctrinated into Scientism. Well, I had heard the term before, but just to be sure that I knew what I was talking about, I went out and Googled Scientism. And every article that I found had been written by an apologist for some religion or another, usually Christianity. And in those articles, they drew out arguments in favor of Scientism in order to debunk Scientism. But they were the only ones talking about Scientism. Before I get much further into this, I should make my disclaimers. I am not a trained scientist. I am not anything more than an armchair philosopher. I'm an entertainer. I am not attempting to persuade you. I'm not attempting to educate you. So if you find anything I say educational or persuasive, that's entirely on you. So back to the charge of Scientism. From what I could tell from these arguments, or articles that have been posted by various apologists, they were claiming that Scientism was an unconscious religion that atheists or humanists or skeptics have been indoctrinated into to accept the pronouncements of science as articles of faith. And the argument went this way: you are a follower of Scientism, you believe that science can do things it cannot, and therefore your arguments are invalid. And the ideas of things that science could not do included variously evaluating morality, evaluating the validity of scripture, and even describing the actual physical world. Some apologists would then go on to spin out theories, the young earth theory, the flat earth theory, the reality of Noah's flood and Noah's ark. Others wouldn't, but they would still use the charge of Scientism to forestall rational discourse about vital issues such as morality. So in my blog post, I went into some effort first to say that the charge of Scientism is an attack ad hominem and therefore is invalid as an argument. Any idiot can say the sun is shining. That doesn't make it dark outside. Well, it's 5:30 and it's dark outside. But I then wanted to know, is there any validity to this concept that skeptics or atheists or humanists have been indoctrinated and do accept the pronouncements of science as articles of faith? I don't. And I know quite a few fellow atheists or skeptics or humanists, and have encountered many more online, and none of them do. When questioned carefully, they'll respond pretty much as I do, that we look at the things that scientists are saying and the commonly accepted theories such as evolution via natural selection, general relativity, special relativity, quantum mechanics as the best current answers and the best current ways of describing the observed phenomena. So it's not a faith, it's a conditional understanding. And the reason we assume that physicists, 'cause we're not all trained in physics, we're not all trained in science, I'm certainly not, but the reason we assume that physicists are making sense when they talk about quantum mechanics, a field of inquiry in which nearly every statement seems wildly counterintuitive, the reason we assume that they're making sense is because it consistently produces useful results. We have nuclear reactors and their deleterious effect of nuclear weapons. Even the computing device that you're using right now to view these words, or the computing device that I'm using to record them, or the other one that I'm using to edit them, they're all evidence that we seem to know what we're talking about when we talk about quantum mechanics. So I don't think there is any validity to the argument of scientism. It seems to me like a debate maneuver akin to throwing sand in your opponent's eyes. It's an attack ad hominem. There's no validity to the concept itself. But as I was preparing this blog post, there was a disconnect. And the disconnect was this, that after I thought about it a while, I realized that nobody's talking about scientism anymore. Now, it was something that people talked about way back in 2017. Somebody went to the trouble of accusing me of being a follower of scientism. But I don't hear anybody using the term these days. As a matter of fact, the debates that were so popular between believers and atheists or skeptics about is God real, or is there any truth or validity to Scripture, what's the pedigree of Scripture, all of that seems to have gone by the wayside. We're not having those debates anymore, and it's not because atheists seem to have won every battle but lost the war, as Christian nationalists seem to have captured our government. But there seems to be a broad realignment going on in which a large number of believers of faith-based religions are themselves very uncomfortable with how religion is being used in public life, and especially in the role that religion is playing in our politics. They, while there are a number of religious people who feel that they've captured our government, and that they're now empowered to enforce their will and their dogma through the arm of government, a lot of other Christians in particular seem very uncomfortable, and they seem to believe that the close and getting closer relationship between government and religion is damaging their religion. It's damaging Christianity itself. And so you see this divide going on within even evangelical Christianity. Evangelical Christians are becoming increasingly divided over this idea of whether or not they should be seeking temporal power. And a fair number of evangelical Christians are lining up with the atheists and the skeptics to say that no, religious freedom is critically important. And so we're not debating the validity of religion anymore. We're debating now what is the appropriate role of religion within our public life. So the charge of scientism has just simply gone away. Nobody's talking about it anymore. I'm not sure if it's a good thing or if it's a sign that we have much deeper problem these days. But that's why I felt kind of uncomfortable just trying to read the blog post in. If you want to see the blog post, it's dated the 15th of September 2017, which is, almost a decade ago. But you can find it in my blog, Robert Bruce Scott, and the name of the blog is Be Careful, People. It's really stupid out there.